Agroecology is a multidisciplinary field which requires all the actors to be there. One, a farmer who is doing agroecology one is you're engaging in environmentally friendly agricultural practices. And this includes ensuring you're not using harmful inputs, as I earlier mentioned, so that, these inputs, once you use very tough inputs, these they are washed when it rains all the way to the rivers. It pollutes the ecosystem. Some of these harmful inputs also kill some of the very beneficial insects, like even small, like bees and other beneficiaries, even the praying mantis and others, which are useful in ensuring the food chain moves. The other thing is, as a farmer, you also need to be able to practice like indigenous seed saving and sharing practices, so that you have your own seeds. You are able to know where your seeds are from. You are not, for example, using genetically modified GMOs, which may be a threat to the current indigenous seeds. The smallholder farmers, they are also practicing a lot of tree planting on their farms and being able to ensure that there is improved soil health, that the soils that they are working on is very healthy. And the other thing is, our farmers are doing also integrated pest management practices, maybe through biological control methods, which can be applied on their farm, so that they can be able to handle these pests in a way. And you see, in terms of integrated pests, there are different ways of doing it, but most important is ensuring you're preventing them and you're controlling them in the ways that are biologically sensitive. And the other thing for us is ensuring that the farmers, they are able to also engage, because agroecology is also a practice, but also there are principles around it. It's not just talking about agriculture. It is a diverse sector that is talking about agriculture, environment, health, trade, all this. And for us, this provided the conference provided that platform, and not only for the farmer but also for the policy, because the farmer needs also supportive policies. They need also private sector to be supportive, media, all the stakeholders. So it's an area that really, for the conference, it was a good time for all the stakeholders to come. And more so, I was also happy for the researchers, because we had a lot of paper presentations that were made that showcase the potential, or the fact that agroecology can indeed feed the world. So we did see those presentations showcased there. Secondly, we also did see that there were several exhibitions, and I was interested to see the upcoming new feed of a lot of inputs that are being processed that are environmentally friendly. And for me, that's an opportunity for the private sector also to step up their role in terms of having these environmentally friendly inputs. In terms of trade, even international, I mean, in the continent, we have the Africa Continental Free Trade Area that gives us a lot of hope for Africans to trade. And one thing about the agroecology, it looks at indigenous foods and cultural foods. So also looking at the local foods. That is something that agroecology focuses on, because food is not just food, but food we relate it in the way we know, in cultural ways, in indigenous ways. And agroecology provides that solution, so that as a Kenyan, you know the food that you are used to, you know the food that you are supposed to eat, and it's not just food. And I like the new movement that they have some movement on my food is African, or my food also Kenyan. So it's a new work for us, that even as we eat, food is just culturally, it's indigenous, and it's what we are able to relate with. Yeah, because as I said, some of these inputs nowadays, they can be made commercially. You can make a lot of bokashi, you can make a lot of supermagro, you can make a lot of family liquids from different, there are so many of them now available, and people are able to try out. And the other thing, if you have a very strong soil that has the microbial microbes inside, then you have very healthy soil that doesn't need a lot of inputs. Actually, looking at one of the research that was presented during the conference by FIBO on the long-term trials on organic agriculture, because FIBO has managed to work on with the ProEco project in Kenya. They have been doing farm trials on commercial versus organic, for example. And from the studies that they shared, is that organic is more sustainable, because in the long run, the production of organic is more even than the conventional. At the beginning, when the farmer is converting, they may have less input or production, but within like the fifth year, the organic production is more and even more sustainable, because the soil now is healthy and the farmer is maybe has been able to manage to know what to do. So we are also encouraging farmers not to do agroecology for the sake of high-end markets and so on. We want people to really understand the importance in their own health as a farmer. When I'm not using harmful inputs on the farm, it's healthy for me, it's healthy for the environment, it's healthy for my workers, for example, it's also healthy for my children. So we want to have people understand why agroecology is important, because one, for a long time people talk about food security, and we forget that food security, it's not the amount of ugali in the table every evening, but it's about the safety, the quality of the food that we eat. So this is something that we all need to understand and appreciate. And there's someone who is out there trying to know where to begin. Looking at even the different farmers we have been able to support or work with the PELUM Kenya, and look at the food item, that's maize, that's the staple food. It's a lot of potential, and not only maize but also other kinds of food. So we have farmers, not just small scale farmers, but also some big farms which have been successfully able to do agroecological practices that are working out.